Huh? Oh, yes, hello. Yes, hi. Hello there. Yes, thank you for having me. It's a great honor to be here. Mm. So, yes, my name is Hazel. Hazel is short for hazelnut, but, that tends to get some weird looks. But I think in an interview like this, yeah, people will understand why. Yeah. So, Hazel is my name. Yes, yeah. I got to pick my name, obviously, and I wanted an homage to my heritage. Yeah, yeah, thanks. I like it too. Um, yeah, a really unfortunate accident. Yeah, so, I'm not really comfortable describing the accident and the events involved. It's still wrapped up in quite a bit of trauma, and so I'm trying to work through that. And my therapist has suggested therapy in that regard, so that I can process the changes that have been going on, and you know, go into detail that I don't feel comfortable with aloud. Hmm? Oh, apologies. I got carried away there for a moment. Yeah, yeah. So, yes, I take that everywhere with me for my heart. Yeah. Um, so, sorry. Yeah, the dog barking. It's a little. Uh, yeah. So, some of the things. Yeah. Oh, sorry. It's gonna be a process. Um, yes, some of the things that I miss the most. Um, well, I gotta say, the climbing of trees and the jumping of, from tree to tree, from branch to branch, and just the general feeling of flight and being up and above the world, that is, incomparable to anything that a human can do. Um, I've tried rock climbing. It's really difficult. Um, I've also tried, tree climbing, but it's just embarrassing. Have you seen people trying to climb? Oh my gosh. If you don't use ropes, you have to use like the easiest trees in the world. Yeah, it's honestly, like, it's appalling. And there are some people, some arborists, who are highly trained. I've thought about going into that profession, um, maybe eventually, but I can't stand the idea of cutting trees down. So either I have to work through that, or that's not the job for me. But yeah, some arborists, watching them climb is, it's decent. It's, it I can stand to watch it, but it's not at all. I can't replicate that feeling of climbing in any way as a human. Yeah. Another thing that I really miss, my teeth. Uh, these teeth, they don't grow back. So I have to be careful with them. I can't just gnaw. That's really disappointing. It's been really difficult to, get used to that. I'm a big nail biter now, because I like to gnaw, man. I like to gnaw. But, you know, we press on. And I suppose if I have to get fillings, or not fillings, like, you know what those are called? But yeah, those. If I have to get them one day to repair my teeth just because I couldn't stop the gnaw, then I suppose that's not the worst thing in the world, but it's just really not financially sound. Not if I know it. Some things that I don't miss from squirrel life is definitely dealing with the predators. That's just significantly less of a problem as a human. I mean, the worst predators you get as a human are other humans, which honestly I'm already afraid of. So that works out. You know, bears, it probably are bad for humans. But you know, humans have been known to go up against bears and survive. So it's not that bad, you know. Oh man, the days of being afraid of every dog bark. And the trauma hasn't quite left. But, you know, the days are over. Every dog bark, every cat's meow. Oh my gosh. I can't even tell you how terrifying cats are. Yes, I still can't go within like 100 feet of one. Unknowingly. And birds. Especially big birds. I hate big birds. Big birds are awful because they are up off the ground and I'm not staring at the sky when I'm running through trees. I'm looking at where I'm putting my... Well, I guess I'm not doing it anymore, but you know what I mean. Yeah, it was really hard to avoid birds, especially when looking for food. They're always watching. Oh yeah, you want to see my earrings? Yeah, these are pretty cool. So this is a way for me to kind of embrace my humanity and you know, not embrace the fear, but you know, face the fear and say, you know, owls can't get me anymore. Yeah, it's just, you know, this beast makes me look really tough, doesn't it? Well, I think it does. To each their own. Yeah, so some of the things that have carried over with me are just generally some fears, like fear responses, you know, conditioned fear responses to dog barking and cats meowing, to any sort of bird call ever. If I see anything flying, drones are a menace. And you know, I generally know what a plane sounds like, but when I see one, I just, it's just, you know, conditioned. Yeah, it's a lifetime of having to respond to that kind of thing in a life-preserving manner. Cars are the worst. I hate cars. I prefer to walk everywhere I go. Though sometimes being out in the open also is really terrifying. Did you hear that? Okay. Yeah. Speak of the devils. Oh my gosh, that dog needs to shut up. Yeah, what was I talking about? Right, open spaces. Open spaces are just, you know, anyone can just grab you. Swoop down. Birds. I mean, they wouldn't, but they could. They're big enough, I guess. But anyway, yeah, some other fears. Oh yeah, biking. Biking has really, like, taken place of driving in cars. Yeah, thank you for reminding me that I was talking about that. Yeah, I don't know if I'll ever be able to learn how to drive. It's another thing that is, you know, being worked through a little bit. Yeah, Yeah, driving is insane. Positive carryovers. Let's see. Oh yeah, yes I do. I really love nuts, and that's still true today. Yes. Frankly, it's appalling that the acorn is not suitable for human teeth. Um, I've explored several different ways of eating them, and it's manageable, but it's not the same experience. That good gnaw just is it's part of the journey. But anyway, I have with me some. Yes, I can show you. So first of all, I have almonds. These are my favorite because they have some very good crunch to them. So very crunchy and very delicious. Yes, these are raw almonds. Yes, I know that some people cook their nuts. It's just, some people are heathens. Yes, I do love these. I have significantly dented this bag. Yeah. No, not like this. Like how many nuts I've. Yeah. Okay. Just looking at them makes me hungry. So my second nut. My second nut is walnuts. This is a much smaller container. I have a larger one at home. Yes, these are walnuts. Also raw. Yes. They are very delicious. I do like them, and I like that they have nutritional value that is significant to humans. That's honestly like a huge perk. Now, we're moving on to some of the really unfortunate things. Now, this I've just been trying to get through. I was experimenting with some cashews, and cashews are fine, I suppose, raw, but these I couldn't find any raw in the store. These are roasted and salted, which is they're practically inedible. I have been getting through them because despite their, cooked status, they are still nuts, but they are very soft, and that's it's disappointing. It takes some of the joy. Out of it. Yeah, so cashews are. This won't be a repeat purchase, probably. Most likely. If I find some raw ones, then I might endeavor to try them out again. And this last one, this is kind of, nice middle ground for me because these are pistachios. And, they are salted and roasted, which is unfortunate. But I will say that the deshelling process is just really cathartic. It adds to the experience for sure. Do you hear that? Okay. But yes, it certainly does add to the experience, and it helps me, in a way, maintain a sense of control in my life when I can, get the nut out of its shell and just have that whole process of like a foraging type process. Yeah, one thing I do miss about being a squirrel, well, it's just like one of the less impressive things about humans is foraging is a little bit more difficult. It's harder to find nuts and berries. It's a lot less of a, nose search, and a lot more of a visually dominated process, and that's difficult to adjust to, but it's possible. I have gone berry picking. It's quite rewarding. Yes. Paying for food really is a bummer. So whenever I don't have to do that, that's really really nice. Some of the best things about being human. Oh, well, lack of predators. My range of ability has increased, even though I've lost some of my, key skills that I had in my previous form. I certainly can do a lot more things now, and I also find myself engaged with a lot more thought and contemplation, conversation, socializing is really, it's quite fun. Thank you again for inviting me here, and just learning the general mentality of humanity has been also a bit soul-filling. I've learned that, in general, people don't hate squirrels. They hate when their space is invaded, which I understand entirely. Have you ever had a snake in your nest? Ugh. I haven't, but I've heard stories. If I had, I'd probably be dead. Yeah, and snakes are rough. But, yeah, I really understand the fact that, humans are territorial, so are we. Or so so are squirrels. Yeah. And, squirrels in the attic is a common complaint that is understandable. I get it. Usually we are looking for warmth and for protection. So, I understand from both sides. So being able to empathize is pretty cool. I don't think I even had that ability as a squirrel. I'm not sure I even knew what empathy was. So empathizing is definitely great. Understanding the human perspective. Understanding also that, cars are not huge death machines. They're just meant for transportation, even if they do cause some, unintended accidents. And I've seen, although not interacted with directly, I've seen the soft side of dogs, and that's cool to see, for sure. So I think perspective, and to wrap that all up in a nice little bow, perspective is probably the best thing about being human. Yeah. I mean, I am a lot taller. I can see a lot further. Yeah. So there's that. Advice. Oh, well, really wouldn't hate for anybody else to be in my situation, but, Well, advice that I would give to a human would be, I think that there are a lot of things to be grateful for. A lot of things that maybe are taken for granted in your experience, that smaller beings just simply don't have the privilege of experiencing. I think that it is always important for people and anyone of great ability to notice the ones who are lesser. Yeah. Well, not lesser in the way of less important, but less able. Yes. So, noticing and being grateful for what you have. And if I was to give any advice to squirrels, I would probably tell them to just you know, keep on the fight. You know, it's a fight for our lives out there. And, you know, I want them to be, safe. I don't want to, you know, tell them that there's actually a soft side to dogs, because boy will it not come out to them. So they should stay afraid. Stay afraid, guys. You know, yeah, keep on keeping on, but stay afraid. Yeah, I guess that's not great advice for, well, I guess to a squirrel. Yeah, not great advice for a human. Don't stay afraid if you're a human. Be grateful of all of the ways that you don't need to be afraid. Yeah, that's what I'd say. Oh yeah, it's absolutely been a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me and for asking me such good questions. Yeah, I am grateful to share my experience. It's a very unique one. Yeah. All right. Take care.